Hey, good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about fear. Fear. Um, about 20 years ago, I was just out of college, and my wife and I bought a house. And on the side of that house, there was this triangular tower. That on top of it was this great big TV antenna. We were out in the country ways, so we had to get the antenna had to be up in the air for us to get TV from Milwaukee, Mass, and those places. And so the first winter I was there, I thought, it'd be really cool is if I built this star Christmas lights and hung it up at the top of the tower, and then I could run some lights down it, like the star was shining onto the manger, the whole Christmas thing. So I went in the garage and I built this really cool star, and I painted it white, and I put the Christmas lights on it, got all ready. And I went out to the side of the house, and with that in one hand, I started climbing the tower. And I got to the roof line, and where it was, I could stand on the roof. So I put the star on the roof, and I decided to then go from the roof and climb up to the top to put the brackets that I was going to use. So I start climbing the tower, and I get about 10 feet above the roof line, and I still have about 10 feet to go, and I just lock up. Because I look down and the tower's got a little bit of plane, so it's moving a little bit, and my mind just says, "You're nuts, what are you doing up here? This is crazy." And I was so afraid of that height that I couldn't go any higher. And I had to make a decision. What I ended up doing is I mounted the bracket there, I climbed back down, I got the star, I was shaking, my hands, my knuckles were white knuckled, and I got up and I hung that star up, and it was 10 feet shy of the top of this tower. And I left it there for the entire 5 years that we lived in that house because I was too afraid to climb any higher on that thing because, it was crazy to go that high. And then when we sold the house, I had to climb up and take it down. And again, that was just this nerve-wracking event, when I'm hugging the towers tight as I can. I was only up there like 10 minutes, and I come down and I'm completely exhausted. And most of that was just a complete fear. Well, fast forward, we get a new house, we're out in the country again, and I can't get internet through the normal, through cable, through phone line or anything. And we end up going with a wireless internet service. They come out and install stuff, 6 months goes by, the service is horrible. Fast forward again, I end up starting a wireless internet service provider company, meaning I'm providing internet to people out in the country. Because I wanted to compete with the company that was giving us bad service, and it basically told us that, well, we have no competition, so that's what you're going to do. And so I did that. Well, I'm not sure if you're familiar with how wireless internet service providers work, but what we do is we go to the top of really high buildings, really high towers, silos, brain legs, and that type of stuff, and we put up an antenna that goes 360 degrees and shoots out to the countryside. And then on the other end, we go to a customer's house, and we go on their roof, we go on top of their chimney. If they've got one of those TV towers, we climb those. I've climbed trees. The point is, suddenly I went from not being able to climb a 30-foot tower and being terrified to now I'm spending nights and weekends on top of roofs, climbing 90-foot silos, even climbing 200-foot cell phone towers without any harness, with a harness, various different ways. But now I'm hundreds of feet above the ground. And, the first few times was horrible. It was nerve-wracking. Every second I thought I was going to die. It was like, being back hanging a star. But each time I did it, it got a little bit easier. And over the course of 15 years now, I can zip up and down a 100, 200-foot tower with no fear whatsoever. Got the harness on, and I clamp in, and I go right up, and I can hang up in the air 200 feet for 3 hours at a time, working on stuff, and never is there any form of fear that comes into my mind that, I'm going to fall, that this is going to happen, all these problems. Nothing changed physically with my body. I may have gotten a little better at climbing, a little faster, maybe a little stronger because of all the workouts I'm doing, but nothing changed from that first day when I couldn't climb a 30-foot tower to today when I can climb a 200-foot tower without fear. The only thing that changed was up here. I got used to what I was doing, I faced the fear, and I just did it. And once my mind realized that, oh, well, this is okay, I could do this, the fear went away. Well, fear like that isn't just climbing a 200-foot tower, because, let's be honest, climbing a 200-foot tower, that's a long ways up. You can die if you fall. So that fear isn't completely irrational. But we have fears like that in our life all the time. Going out on my own to be an independent team Beachbody coach, I was terrified. I've worked in an office for over 20 years, an 8 to 5, a nice secure job that, came with benefits and a paycheck, and a company I knew that wouldn't just disappear the next day. And now I'm going to go out and I'm going to be this independent, start my own business, and every dollar I make relies on me and what I do. My mind couldn't grasp that, but you know what? I took a step and I went out and did it. And each day I do it, it's a little bit easier and those fears go away. Talking to you on camera, making these little videos. The first time I made one of these, I didn't know what to say, and I was all nervous, and then I watched it back and I looked weird, and I recorded it 3-4 times and I just couldn't get it right. And now here I've been sitting here talking to you for several minutes, and I don't have a script. I'm just sitting here talking, and each time I do it, I get a little bit more comfortable. I'm having to edit less and less, and what I found is there's nothing to be afraid of, because I'm just having a conversation with you, and I might say something dumb, but you know what? If I'm talking to you face to face, if we're watching a football game together and we're talking, I might say something dumb then too. And what difference does it make? We're people and we're just talking. So, what is your biggest fear right now? What is that thing that you keep telling yourself that's holding you back from reaching a goal? I'm 100 pounds overweight. I can't do any workouts. My knees hurt. I don't have time to make meals and make healthy meals and eat right, and that type of stuff. What are you afraid of? Go on a chance. I'm not a morning person. I can't get up at 5 a.m. Why not? What are you afraid of? You miss an hour of sleep? Is that going to end your life? No. Just face that fear. Step out and do it. Over the last several years, I've had to face a lot of fears. Being a single parent, probably the biggest fear I'm dealing with right now is I'm thinking about dating. I'm thinking about looking for a new wife and doing that stuff. I haven't been on a date with someone other than my wife in over 20 years. I don't know what to do. But you know what? I'm going to face that fear, because once that starts happening, and once I get back out there, and once I start doing that stuff, it's going to get easier. I'm going to realize that most of that fear was just purely irrational, that there's lots of people in my same boat looking for someone. So, just do it. If you want my opinion on something, I'm like every other human. I will be happy to give your opinion. So if you've got this huge, scary fear that's bothering you right now, and you want to just talk to someone about it, how to face it, what you should do, what the first step out in faith should be, go ahead and shoot me a message. I'd love to talk to you about it. I'm not going to claim I have all the answers, and I might tell you that, hey, this is what you should do, and you do it, and it's terrifying, it doesn't work out. I'm sorry, but I'm happy to let you know what my opinion would be on what you should do for the next step, and I'll try to help you out as best I can. You guys have a wonderful Wednesday. I hope you're in a place where you're not going to get a foot and a half of snow, but if you are, relax inside, get the fire going, have a great day. Talk to you later.